CNN turns on Biden as top anchor makes stunning claim about the one pardon he could be keeping secret. Wow. This is amazing to see that CNN is actually calling Biden out on his bull crap and making some wild theories that could possibly be true, which is crazy when it comes to Biden and his money laundering scheme between him and his family. Basically, Jim Acosta uh, admitted that it was some dirty dealings that had went on before Joe Biden was president, back when he was vice president. He basically alluding to this, which is something I've been saying, for years now about Biden. But CNN actually coming out and making these statements and saying and having this theory pertaining to his secret pardons. I'm surprised CNN is taking this stance or this assumption, which is similar to my assumption. So I'm gonna play the clip and we're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Mail. We're going to get to the clip in a second. The CNN anchor Jake Tapper speculated that Joe Biden may have secretly pardoned himself in a telling moment about the network's approach to the new Trump administration. Tapper made the admission to the New York Times correspondent and frequent Trump critic Maggie Haberman on Saturday as the two discussed the president's promises of retribution against his political enemies. Even though Trump never said, I'm going to step back for a second. Trump never said he was going to seek retribution against his so-called political enemies. He said his retribution is going to be the success of the United States, making America great again. And they keep saying that he's going to like go after these people. He's going to let justice and the DOJ and all those other people handle their own business, and justice is going to be seeked, but it's not going to be through him telling the DOJ and things like or prosecutors to go after people. But he played a segment of Trump's Thursday night interview with Fox News, Sean Hannity, where the president said that sad thing is Biden didn't give himself a pardon. Trump suggested that he may push for an investigation into Biden because it's all had to do with him leading Taper. I said Acosta, it's Taper or Tapper, to ask Haberman, do you think Trump's Department of Justice will investigate Biden? I think they will, but not because of Trump pointing them in that direction, but because there's corruption there, there's obvious corruption there, and they're going to investigate. But let's just get to the clip here.
Take a listen.
This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
So I don't know that he needed to, Mr. Biden, given the fact that there was this expansive immunity ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court about Trump that now applies to Biden. But do you think Trump's Department of Justice will investigate Biden?
It remains to be seen, Jake. I will say that, Trump is not the only person who has expressed a lot of outrage about some of those preemptive pardons, especially the ones for President Biden's own family members, preemptive pardons, not what happened with Hunter Biden. A lot of former Biden officials have been pretty surprised by it from folks I've been talking to. But Trump seemed to be, unless I was misunderstanding him, talking about activities that were taken before Biden was in office. You are correct. Biden has the same broad protection from the Supreme Court for official acts as president that President Trump now has, that other presidents going forward will have, although that may be challenged going forward, depending on the presidency. He seemed to be referring to money-making efforts by the Biden family prior to the presidency, and we'll see whether that turns into an investigation of some kind.
Yeah, the influence peddling by Hunter and James and others. And although it is possible, we don't know, but it is always possible for a president to pardon somebody and not announce it.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
so
true.
it's possible Joe Biden pardoned himself and we just don't know about it. Who knows?
Funny, interesting, very interesting, very funny to see CNN admit the money laundering thing. This is something that I never thought they would ever discuss. So they not even saying alleged anymore or anything. They basically saying, yeah, it was it, Joe Biden had a money laundering scheme with his family. He used his brother James Biden and his son Hunter Biden to do these backdoor influence peddling deals. I mean, we all know that to be happen, know that to happen, and it happened before he was president, when he was vice president. So he doesn't have those same protections. So that's why that led Tapper to speculate that maybe he already pardoned himself, like secretly. So that's an interesting take. Um, as he made the suggestion, Taper acknowledged that the issue may be a moot point thanks to the Republican-controlled Supreme Court decision last year granting immunity to official presidents. But again, this happened before he was president. The issue of secret presidential pardons came under the spotlight 4 years ago after Trump lost the 2020 election to Biden, as he also issued a number of pardons to allies, but notably not to himself or any family members. And Trump actually spoke on that. Trump said, "Yeah, they said I could pardon myself, but I said I did nothing wrong, so I didn't need a pardon because I didn't do anything wrong." I saw the video clip of Trump saying that. It was speculated at the time that Trump would issue secret pardons, which are technically possible but have never been documented in U.S. history. The clause in the Constitution that grants presidential pardoning powers does not explicitly prevent them from being secret. However, there is no indication that neither Trump nor Biden ever issued secret pardons, and some constitutional scholars arguing that the public nature of a pardon is what makes them legally valid. At the end of Biden's term, it was revealed he set a record for the most pardons and sentence commutations in the single presidential term, except for Jimmy Carter's pardons for Vietnam draft dodgers in 1977. But what they're not saying here is that Biden locked up the most people ever in history too, with his 1994 crime bill and his other crime bills that he put in place. They don't talk about that though. But many of Biden's pardons sparked outrage, particularly his sweeping pardon for his son Hunter, despite previously denying uh, he had plans to do so many times. And in one of his last acts in the White House, Biden also issued preemptive pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci and all 9 members of the January 6th committee, including frequent Trump nemesis Liz Cheney. Y'all know I've done several reports on that. In total, the 82-year-old issued 8,064 pardons during his tenure, with 6,500 of those coming by way of a sweeping pardon for those convicted of marijuana possession. Outside of recently deceased former President Carter, who draft dodging pardon impacted over 200,000 individuals, Biden has issued the most. Um, very interesting. In Saturday's interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, Haberman noted that Biden's pardon for his son stunned even liberals in Washington. That's why they can't say anything, even though they are, but they shouldn't say anything about Trump pardons because at least Trump never pardoned his kids. Um, it said, quote, a lot of former Biden officials have been pretty surprised by it from folks I've been talking to, she said. Haberman added that although Biden has presidential immunity for official acts he took in the White House, Trump's comments to Hannity earlier this week seemed to be talking about activities that were taken before Biden was in office. Then that's what I was just alluding to. She said he seemed to be referring to money making efforts by the Biden family prior to the presidency, and will see whether that turns into an investigation of some kind, she said, which I think it is, and it should be. It should be. What the Bidens did should never ever happen. Should never be able to sell office like that. It is definitely a crime. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.